Hey, it's Dave again with Blockbuster Underground, back for another review, this time for a video game. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 just came out the other day. Game I've been really excited for a while. I've been playing the Flight Sim franchise since like Apple IIe days. Yeah, I'm dating myself, where it was literally just like 8-bit graphics. The big, huge hoopla. 2020 came out obviously 4 years ago. Game Pass PC, Xbox Series XS. Um, After all the patches and everything else they added onto the game, it actually looked pretty good. 2024, they were saying, oh my god, it's going to be even better. The graphics are going to be amazing. We're streaming everything from the cloud. There's going to be career mode in the game now where you can actually go out and do like firefighting with planes or crop dusting or search and rescue, cargo drops, and all that sort of fun stuff. So big, huge hype for the game to come out. Came out on the 19th on Game Pass and on PC. I got a copy of it on the 19th. 11 gigabyte install. Very small. Very small. The last game was like hundreds of gigs with all the add-ons, the world updates, and everything else. So it's kind of like, well, I don't know. I've got a 3 gigabit connection, like 3,000 megabits per second internet connection. So I was like, not worried about my internet connection. I got a 4K 85-inch TV with an Xbox Series X with the Game Pass built in. Got the game installed, played it around a little bit. Um, did the flight over New York City, um, the Discovery flight, and did a couple more flights before the whole thing crashed. We'll get to that. One thing I did notice though, the graphics are fucking garbage. Like absolute fucking garbage. Like the textures on the buildings look terrible. Things are popping in and out as you're flying. The plane itself looks okay. When you get down to like ground level, it looks like shit. Like absolute shit. Like just pixelated. Blah. Not acceptable, in my opinion. We're talking Microsoft here. They got a couple of bucks behind them. They've been working on this game for 5 years, and the launch was an absolute fucking disaster. There were people that couldn't even play it day one. Like I got about an hour and change worth of flying in before I started running into issues, and that apparently was like leaps and bounds beyond what other people were able to get. Some people just sat looking at the loading screen for 7 hours. The game has been completely review bombed online because of this. Right, fairly so. I don't know. I mean, it's a huge undertaking what they're trying to do with this cloud-based streaming, where you're basically pulling all the information from the internet, which makes the installation smaller. But then the performance of the game is always going to be dependent on if you're on PC. Obviously, your PC specs, your video card, your RAM, GPU, all that stuff. On the Xbox, though, you shouldn't have to worry about that shit. As long as you got a decent internet connection and the game installs properly, there should be no issues. I don't know if my Xbox, like I ran a speed test on my Xbox, it's pulling like 200 megs down on a Wi-Fi connection. I know, get a wired connection, get a wired connection. I know, I get it, whatever. That being said, though, the game should not look like this on day one. The fact that there were a bunch of people that couldn't even get the game to load is even worse because some of the retail copies of this game went up to like $250 Canadian for like the Aviator edition. I saw one unboxing for this game. The guy bought like the super deluxe edition. You open up the box, a nice steel book case and everything, and like nice and glossy looking and shit. Guy opens it up. There's a lanyard inside the box with like a seatbelt clip for the where the lanyard connects, and you get a little itty bitty card with the code for you to install the game. So they don't even give you a fucking disc anymore. I mean, obviously everything's going to be cloud based. We're downloading like hundreds of gigabytes worth of data from the cloud to be able to run this game, so it'll look photorealistic and everything else. Yeah, I don't know if they're working on it. They released a video the day after the launch saying, "Oh yeah, the servers are fucked." Of course, go figure. But I mean, in this day and age, 2024, we should be beyond, way beyond the point where you buy a game and it's complete dog shit for the first 3 months while they patch the fuck out of it. Looking at you, Star Wars Outlaws. Haven't even played that game yet. Don't plan to. But for something like this, especially with Microsoft behind this, like we're not talking a little itty bitty, like third rate studio, independent thing. This is fucking Microsoft. Like, if you can't get the shit working perfectly, perfectly, day one, wait. Don't release it. Because right now there is so much bad taste in everyone's mouth for this fucking game that it's gonna really hurt sales. And word of mouth is getting around on the internet big time. I was watching a couple of people trying to do the stream, and they were playing like solitaire because the game wasn't loading. They were just sitting there waiting, and there was a queue screen that popped up for the first day, where it's like you're in the queue. It's like what the fuck is going on here? So obviously, a 3 gigabit internet connection is doesn't help. 4K TV doesn't help. Xbox Series X doesn't help. I tried it on my PC with PC Game Pass. My PC obviously has a Radeon 3070 graphics card, so it's not really that up to speed in regards to performance and everything else like that. It still looked like dog shit. Um, I do one test flight every time I buy one of these new games, and it is to St. Pete Beach in Florida, where my parents used to have a condo. And every time the game comes out, I will do, in honor of my dad, rest in peace, who loved these flight sim games. I do an honorary flight along the beach past their condo every time there's a new game comes out. I tried that this time. The Don Cesar um, Hotel on St. Pete Beach, gorgeous, gorgeous, old traditional looking hotel. Looks like shit. Looks like absolute shit. I swung by my parents' condo, which is about 200 meters down the beach from the Don, and I don't know if the graphics aren't loading properly because the server's all fucked up, but it looked like the windows in the front of the building were all kind of wonky, and depending on what angle you looked at, it looked terrible. The trees by the pool looked like green granite sort of spikes. Um, and yeah, it looked like shit. I did a flyby in Montreal because I used to live there, and flew by the Molson Brewery, and Molson is like stenciled on the side of the chimney. It's like down the side. You fly by the Bell Center. There's no signage on the outside of the Bell Center at all. The Stade Olympic Stadium in Montreal looks like shit. The water textures, there's no real textures at all. There's I've seen videos where cargo boats are like clipping into the side of the shore. There's like trees growing out of the middle of the water. The textures are just fucking terrible. I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's just them still working on it because 2020 looked better than this. And that's like saying something. And the other thing that they've added for this year's model, instead of as well as the career mode and everything else, is you can literally get out of your plane and walk around on the ground with your own little avatar now. Problem with that though is the textures when you get ground level are absolutely fucking brutally bad. Like I landed my plane. I had it to Havilland, of water landing on St. Pete. Landed in the Gulf of Mexico. Got out of the plane. Walked down the beach to where my parents' place was. Walked up to the building. Could literally go poolside. Looked even worse then. The water was just like. The fence along the front of the condo before the beach wasn't there. The trees, like I said, looked like green granite spikes. The texture on the building itself looked terrible. There's no depth to it at all. It just looks like I don't know. But that being said, I have hopes, prayers that they're going to get this fixed and working properly because as of right now, um, I had major issues when I was doing the New York flight because one other mode they got in this is World Photographer, where you can literally fly around places and then take photos. And they got a long, like 20 or 30 things in the photography section where it's like, wonders of the world, take pictures of the pyramids, famous bridges, fly over to New York City, take a picture of like the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty. all of that shit looked terrible. Like I was taking photos and it was like, yeah, okay, cool. And ugh, just I don't get it. I don't get it. In this day and age for a game to come out in 2024 to be this fucking broken. And I mean, luckily I didn't pay for this. I mean, I did, I guess, sort of, because I subscribed to Game Pass, and that's like $20 a month, which in my opinion is really well worth the money because, I was Flight Sim stopped working. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back and start playing a little bit of Arkham City. So I installed Batman Arkham City, and I was playing that. I hadn't played that in like years, and I was having fun with that. I got the PGA Golf on there. But Flight Sim, I don't know what they're doing. They've got to get this fixed though, because there is a huge number of people that love this game and play it like religiously. Like I've seen streams online. The guy said he put like thousands of hours into Flight Sim 2020. I mean, even I don't play it that much, but it is fun to pick up when it's working to just fire up a flight, fly around over in Montreal or New York or Sydney or Toronto. But the way the graphics look right now, oh my god, it's just awful. And I'm hearing that's the same problem with PCs, even with high end rigs, with like a lot of RAM, a really good video card, really good CPU, and all the rest. Yeah, it's. Oof. I mean, I had problems when I was doing the New York flights. I would go to fly to the Statue of Liberty, and the minute I got past the edge of the shore of Manhattan, the game just crashed right back to the desktop and loaded up again, tried it again, crashed again. So I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they've got a whole bunch of things in this game where they're like, you can go on safaris and take pictures of the animals. I'm like, oh, animals must look like shit if the buildings look this bad. Like boats, when I was flying the strip in Florida up St. Pete Beach, some of the causeways were underwater. I mean, there were docks underwater. The clashing of like the water with the land, it just looked like a kid had just taken a shit and smeared it across the canvas. I mean, this like if I'd paid $200 for this game, I would have been pissed. I mean, still a little upset because, like I said, we should be able to just install the game. I mean, if I had a dial-up internet connection, I could see where that'd be a problem. But 3 gigabits. I mean, even if I'm clocking 200, it should be enough to get a 4K stream. um, to populate on the screen and not be like populating as you're flying and all of a sudden like, oh look, there's a building. I was going to try the whole fly to my house and check it out, but the way things look right now, like just based on the St. Pete Beach run, I'm not wasting my time with it yet because garbage. Um, I don't know. Hopefully, obviously the game's only been out for 3 days, so I mean I have no idea how to do cloud-based streaming or any of the kind of shit they're trying to pull right now. It's beyond my pay grade, but the guys that are doing it should know what the hell they're doing and be able to get a game put together that's going to work properly. Or, worst case scenario, delay it a couple months. You know, why put out a game that's complete shit? You're going to ruin your fan base. You've worked busting your ass patching the shit out of it. And, why not just hold off? I mean, if you buy a car, you expect it to drive out of the lot. I mean, if you buy a TV set, you expect you're going to bring it home, turn it on, it's going to work. This, though, like, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what kind of problems they were having. I mean, obviously, when a global launch and everybody, probably millions of people playing this game, all trying to load in at the same time, you're going to have issues. But you're Microsoft, so you should have a solution to this already in place. And to be lauding how great, like the trailers you see, it's like in-game graphics. Sure, okay. On what computer or what machine are you running this? Because those trailers that they dropped for this game don't look anything like what I'm playing at all. I mean, I've seen videos of people with where the planes aren't even rendering. Like it's literally just their pilots sitting there in midair, like he's flying Wonder Woman's invisible jet. Or there's like one engine hasn't populated, so you're just flying, and like there's no engine on the left side of the plane. I mean, unacceptable. Unacceptable in this day and age. Obviously, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I know I could make the game better. Hell no. Fuck no. But for the people that are getting paid all this money to make these games and the amount of prep time they've had, even with from the alpha, um, there's other people are saying planes aren't loading. They bought like the super deluxe edition where they're supposed to get like 500 planes or something, and there's like half of them aren't there. Microsoft, one suggestion was try flying smaller planes in smaller airports for right now. Don't try to take off from like LAX with a 737. And it's like, well, that's half the fun of the game. Like, people want to fly these things. You're saying, oh, yeah, just for right now, just fly a Cessna out of like some little rinky dink airport in the middle of Ontario somewhere, and you'll be okay. Promise. Yeah, sure. I tried that from where I live to fly to Toronto, and the graphics looked just terrible. I mean, cars running down the street, like just randomly bumping into each other. I've seen videos online where the guy's trying to take off and another airplane spawns on top of him. So you got to like back out, and then like the controllers aren't working, and you got to. Some guys are spending like hours having to map all the buttons to the controllers, especially if you have like the super fancy flight stick and throttle assemblies. Um, it's taking people eons to map all the buttons properly to get everything set up. So I don't know if it's just me that's running into this. Comment below. Let me know if you've been playing this, if you what problems you've been running into. What do you think Microsoft should have waited off till the new year to release this and give themselves at least a couple more months prep time to test the servers and everything else? But big disappointment because this is one of my favorite games growing up. And like I said, my dad loved playing Flight Sim. He would be up till 2 in the morning, and you'd be over visiting, and you go down to get a glass of water in the middle of the night, and you'd hear from the office, and like, what? Pop your head in there, like, Dad, what are you doing? He goes, oh, play Flight Sim. He loved it, but I don't know. Hopefully they get this fixed and get a proper working version of this game sooner than later, because it's going to piss off a lot of fans. And they really, I mean, they've got a long list of stuff they're working on, but a little bit more transparency from the side of Asobo and Microsoft Studios and Xbox would be nice in regards to what's going on and why the game looks this shit. Because that's one of the things they've lauded about forever when they first announced this game. It's going to look amazing, photorealistic, and we're getting animals in there, and you can walk around on foot and go and like explore. And yeah, can't do any of that shit yet, but hopefully sooner than later. Anyway, in the meantime, subscribe to the channel, please. No one is doing that, and it's feeling a little bit futile. So subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, like the video, comment down below if you want to get involved with the chat. Let me know what you think of Flight Sim. If you played it, if you can't care less about Flight Sims, if you're running on an Xbox or PC, let me know. You're running into the same problems with the textures on the buildings that look like crap. But yeah, let me get this posted up. We'll talk to you next time.